Okay, so let's see. This is the final review for the written portion, okay? So today I want to do only 10 questions and then hopefully tomorrow we'll do next. I can only record for 15 minutes, so if I get disconnected, I'll just make two. Question number one, simplify square root of 98. Guys, what I want you to do is just write down the questions, try and solve it yourself, and then, just check fast forward to see if your answer is correct. And if you don't get it, then rewind and then watch it, okay? You don't have to waste time. So there you go. Remember the factor tree? This is so easy. Start with the 98. 98 is the same as 2 times 49, and 49 is the same as 7 times 7, right? So there you go. You circle all your prime numbers, and so what you have is the square root of 2 times 7 times 7. And you know that you can pull out the two sevens, right? And it comes out. So what's your answer? We have 7 on the outside, but only one of them comes out, okay? And then you have square root of 2, okay? Now let's move on to question number 2. Subtract and simplify. So there you go. You do the same thing as you did up here. You got to do the factor tree for 243. So I'm going to do the factor tree right here, 243. So I'm going to go 3 times 81, and I already know 81 is 9 times 9. So I don't really have to do anything else, right? So now keep in mind your 3 is already on the outside, right? So keep the 3 outside, okay? And then inside, you have 9 times 3 times 9 times 9, right? And then now you have to do the factor tree for 48. So there you go. Here's 48. 48 is the same as 4 times 12. And 12 is another 4 times 3. I could go further and make it into prime numbers, but I already know 4 times 4, 4 will come out, and 3 is the only one that's stuck in there, right? So there you go, minus, and then square root of 48 is the same as 4 times 4 times 3. We all know that this escapes and this escapes, right? So they go outside. The 3 was already in there, don't forget that. So you're going to have 3 on the outside already times 9. And then what's left inside? Square root of 3. Over here, the 4 came out, and then the square root of 3 is still inside, right? So 3 times 9 is 27, square root of 3. And then you have minus 4 square root of 3, right? Or else you need to go do your homework, please. Close the door behind you. So now we have square root of 3. So we're going to keep it. And then 27 minus 4 is 23. So that's your answer. 23 square root of 3. Okay, so let's move on to question number 3. We have to simplify this expression over here. Very simple. Just going to put my equal sign here. I'm going to copy this down. 14n squared minus 3n. And over here, we all know that we have to distribute, right? So negative 4n times n is negative 4n squared. And then negative 4n times 3 is negative 12n plus 9. Okay, so then from here we're combining like terms. So remember, you have to use your highlighter. The n squared and the n squared go together. And then the n and the n go together. And then the number by itself, right? But there's only one of that. So there you go. I write my n squared, which is the blue ones, and then I see 14 minus 4. So that's 10. And then I write the n, and I see negative 3 plus negative 12, which is negative 15. Finally, I see the 9 by itself, so I put plus 9, and we are done, okay? Let's take a look at number 4. Same thing, very easy question. You have to distribute first over here. It's all Algebra 1 stuff, okay? So negative, this one, let me just go ahead and write it over here. Negative 6p plus 31 equals, then when you distribute over here, you get 3p. And then 3 times negative 4 is negative 12, right? So then I notice that I have variables on both sides. I have a negative 6p and a 3p. So I don't like to have variables on both sides. None of us do, actually. So we're going to get rid of the small guy. by adding 6p, because you know negative 6p is smaller than 3p, right? So add 6p to both sides of the equal sign. So this one cancels out. And so we have 31 equals 3p plus 6p is 9p minus 12. So let's go ahead and add 12 to both sides. And so now you get 9p equals 31 plus 12, which is 43. All right. Finally, you got to divide both sides by 9. And so now you know that p is equal to, if you cannot simplify, then that's your answer, okay? 43 over 9. I can't help you right now. So there you go. So let's go ahead and graph the linear equation here right now, okay? So what we have to do in order to graph this is to leave the y by itself, okay? Or else I'll check it for you later, okay? Bye. Sorry. So then what we're doing right now is we're going to go ahead and add 3x to both sides. And so then that will give me 4y is equal to, and then you have to write the x first, right? So 3x plus 8, and then now you gotta divide everything by 4, okay? Everything by 4. So then now what you're going to end up with is y equals 3 over 4x plus 2, okay? So then I'm going to go ahead and graph it now. Sky, I need you to leave, and then I'm going to lock the door, like right now. Hurry up.
I need help.
Okay, so first get out. I told you I'm recording. Get out. Okay, so there you go. I'm going to go ahead and put my tick marks. Trust me, having kids is not easy. All right, so then you start with the 2, 0, 1, 2. So you put your point right there, and then your slope is 3 over 4, which means you go up 3 to the right 4, right? So let's go ahead and put some more tick marks here. So then you have to go up 3, 1, 2, 3, and to the right 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. There you go, yeah. And then what you're going to do is you're going to connect the 2 points all the way through. All the way. And that will be your answer, okay? All right, so let's keep going. I want to go up to number 10. There are 20 questions total. Number 6, you have to write the equation of a line that is perpendicular to that and passes through this point. So over here, the only information you need is the slope. We don't care about the minus 72. All right, so if we're talking about perpendicular slope, what do you have to do? You have to change the symbol. So since this is positive, you're going to have to turn it into a negative. And then since this is 3 over 5, you have to flip it. So that's 5 over 3. So that's your slope, and it has to go through negative 3, 4. You're going to use the point slope formula. Y minus y sub 1 equals m times x minus x sub 1. So let's just plug it in. Y minus, oh, so you know this is x sub 1 and this is y sub 1. Okay? So y minus y sub 1 is 4 equals, what is my slope? M, negative 5 over 3. And then x minus, x sub 1 is another negative 3. So if you have two negatives, you know it's positive, right? So I'm just going to use red. Okay. And then now we got to distribute. So y minus 4 equals negative 5 over 3x. And then when you multiply the whole number to the top. So negative 5 times positive 3 is negative 15 over 3. And we know negative 15 over 3 is what? Negative 5, right? So y minus 4 equals negative 5 over 3x minus 5. Now all we have to do is add 4 to both sides. That didn't come out right. Add 4 to both sides, okay? And when you do that, your answer is right here. Y equals negative 5 over 3x minus 1. Okay, so that's your answer for number 6. Let's move on to number 7. So now what we're going to do, I'm going to get really mad. Close the door. So I'm going to go ahead and subtract 5 from both sides. And so what I'm left with is 4 times x minus 3, right? And then since we subtracted the 5, we have 21 minus 5, which is 16, right? Okay. Now what we're going to do next, we're going to divide both sides by 4, okay? So we have absolute value of x minus 3 equals 4. So now we have to separate this into two cases. X minus 3 equals 4 or x minus 3 equals negative 4. These questions are very basic. You should all know how to solve every single one of them. So now we're adding 3 to both sides. So x is equal to 7. Or then you're going to add 3 to both sides. And so now you're going to have x equals negative 1. All right. Number 8. So this is the same thing. We're going to go ahead and subtract 2 from both sides. And so then now I have the absolute value of 3x minus 1, and that is less than 11, right? So from here, we have to separate it into two cases. Because the absolute value is less than a number, we know that this is a AND inequality. That means the answer have to overlap, right? The answers will be overlapping. So let's go ahead and separate it. 3x minus 1 is less than 11. And 3x minus 1, the inside stays the same. And then you change the symbol, and then the 11 turns into a negative 11, right? Now from that point on is very self-explanatory, right? So you add 1 to both sides. So 3x is less than 12. Divide both sides by 3. And you have x is less than 4. And let's do the other side, okay? So you add 1 to both sides. And then you have 3x is greater than negative 10. So now we divide both sides by 3. We've been doing this so many times. X is now greater than negative 10 over 3. Because this is an AND inequality, when you graph it, it looks like this. Negative 10 over 3, 4. There's no line underneath, so we have empty circles, and x is less than 4 going this way. X is greater than negative 10 over 3 going that way. So your answer is right here in between negative 10 over 3 and 4. Let's see, time's up. So I'm going to do the next two videos, right? And next two questions on the next video. Okay, see you later.